everyone! So for a lot of kids in my hometown, school has just started. It either started within last week or like a couple weeks ago. So a lot of my younger family members are either going into middle school or they're just starting high school. Some of them are even on their last year of high school. And I know for me, starting school was both nerve-wracking and very exciting. For one, it was a new school year. You got to see your friends, go into new classes, new teachers, new experiences overall. While at the same time, it's still school, it's still hard work, there's still bullying and teachers you will not enjoy. And honestly, I wasn't even going to make a video about this. The simple reason of I don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. But I've noticed a lot with my cousins and my brother that the start of the school year is not very enjoyable for them. In fact, my brother just started homeschooling because he was sick of the bullying and the teachers. They didn't understand how his brain works, or they didn't match him on his level, and they couldn't understand that. And despite being at home and doing work, it's still as nerve-wracking as being in a classroom, especially if you're a kid with anxiety, like myself. But I thought about this for a while, and I was just thinking, hey, if I were to go back in time and talk to a little middle school Rihanna, what would I tell her? What would I say to help her get through this stressful time in her life? And honestly, it's just a simple phrase. This time will pass. It's honestly just a small section of your life that once it's done, it's done. You don't have to go back to it ever again. You don't have to deal with those same teachers, the same people that bully you every day, kids that make you feel uncomfortable, kids that will not leave you alone. Middle school and high school suck, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But the number one thing you can do for yourself is just keep a positive mindset. Indulge in hobbies you enjoy, talk to someone. Look up tips and tricks to de-stress, declutter your brain, because ultimately that will help you at the end of the day. Me, when I was younger, I loved to draw. I love drawing. Drawing has been the biggest outlet in my life. I'd doodle in my notebooks, or I'd draw as soon as I'd get home. I'd make tea, because I love drinking tea, and it's also a great stress reducer. Any little thing really does help. When I was growing up, I was bullied from elementary school all the way up to high school. It didn't stop just because I entered a new grade. It didn't stop just because I morphed my personality into something I thought was more accepting. Long story short, I was the weird girl in school that nobody liked. I wasn't always this girl that people found attractive or beautiful, or that they liked my personality or my hobbies or how I was. All throughout my grades, I had one person as a friend, and they were a very backstabbing and two-faced person. Very toxic to be around. It was like I was their secret friend most of the time. But no matter what I did, kids didn't like me. I was a very shy and secluded kid when I was younger. I didn't talk to many people because I was too scared to. Now a little TMI, I was the first kid in elementary school to hit puberty. It was in 4th grade, and I was the only one. So then I had a full year after that of elementary school, living through a hellish force of just becoming an adult slowly. My body was maturing a lot faster than anyone else around me. It was very evident. Then when 6th grade came, I actually started opening up a little more. Instead of making fun of me for my drawings, people actually praised me. I gained more friendships because of my drawings. Even a sprinkle of acquaintances. In 6th grade, I started wearing makeup and doing my hair, and I felt like I was becoming more beautiful. Something that wasn't representative of younger elementary school me. But when 7th grade came around, I started struggling more in school. I did have, I think, one specific teacher that put me through a living hell. She did not like me. And to be fair, I didn't like her either. And I started getting these more intense crushes on boys that didn't notice me like that. And to be fair, every time someone found out that I had a crush on someone, I was bullied for it. I was made fun of for having a crush on a boy. You heard that right. In 7th grade, I just kind of had a lack of interest for getting all dressed up for school and makeup and whatever. It was really a weird time for me. Once 8th grade hit, okay, 8th grade is the big winner here, because that is when I completely broke my shell. I was way more outgoing and extroverted. I felt happy. I could be weird because that was like the fad at the time. Was being a weird emo scene kid. That was me. Granted, it was kind of always me from 6th to 8th grade, but it became more of a norm in school to have that style, to be a random weird child. I acted how I wanted to express myself, and my friends accepted that because they were the exact same way. But also in 8th grade was a really kind of weird time for me, simply because boys started looking at me more. If you know what I mean. They started recognizing me, and it wasn't so much the guys that I wanted to be recognized by, if you catch my drift. I'm gonna add a little side note here. At this time, like a little before 8th grade started, I did have a really big court case that I was going through. It wasn't because I was a bad kid. Just to shed a little more light in this situation, it was a sexual abuse case revolving around my father. I'm not gonna go into details about this. I'm trying to keep this very friendly, very PG, and I'll probably go into details more so in a different video, but this one's all about school. But I wanted to add that just to kind of put you in my set of mind at the time, what I was going through, how I felt. But as soon as the first day of school came around, I felt incredibly sexualized. I had boys flirting with me, but I'd show like no interest, okay? Like I didn't know how to talk to boys. I wasn't really friends with any boys in middle school or elementary school. They'd say really weird things that made me feel very uncomfortable. They'd comment on my body, my figure, they'd attempt or like lightly touch me inappropriately. I didn't know how to feel. It slowly faded throughout the years' progression, but it was still a huge change for me. And those were just kind of like my middle school experiences. I'll probably make a high school one someday in the future. Maybe it'll be next year when school starts up again. But in conclusion, I hope everyone has a great year at school. Make new friends and study hard, work hard, do your work, respect everyone around you unless they do not respect you. I'd also love to hear what experiences you've had in school. If you're still in school or if you're not anymore. Good things, bad things, whatever things. I'd like to hear about it if you want to talk to me about it. But like I said before, I hope everyone has a great school year, and I hope you can get a lot out of this new chapter in your life. Bye!